After one of the most violent nights in Richmond all year that claimed 3 lives, law enforcement agencies are coming together to try to come up with a solution. Some of you may remember a successful initiative years ago known as Project Exile. It drastically reduced the crime rate in the city and became a national standard.
Police Chief Alfred Durham brought it up during a news conference today, saying it might be time to bring it back. Britni McDonald has more now about how this could make the streets safer. Britni.
Yeah, that's right. Police Chief Alfred Durham says he's been meeting with the Commonwealth's attorney, the United States attorney, and federal partners over the past couple of months. And apparently they already have a list of the most violent people in the city. Now it's a matter of coming together and tackling the problem, much like Project Exile did years ago.
There's a thing called Project Exile. We're talking about re-engineering that and bringing it back.
With an increase in gun violence over the summer and an especially violent weekend, Police Chief Alfred Durham is considering reviving a project from nearly 20 years ago that gained national attention and replication after it drastically reduced Richmond's homicide rate, which at the time was one of the highest in the nation. Project Exile is essentially about serious and immediate prison time for criminals caught with guns.
The folks who are perpetrating these crimes could really have a very high cost and a very high burden for their activities.
Former federal prosecutor Chuck James worked on some of these cases himself and says the goal was getting the worst of the worst off the streets, and that's what they did.
Cases were vetted, they were presented to a committee. Some cases would go to state court, some would go to federal court. And it really did allow cases to be funneled to where you could get the most bang for the buck.
Federal prosecution was key, James says, because oftentimes it means harsher punishments and more time behind bars. The project being heavily publicized also helped, with reminders of the prison time criminals could face plastered on billboards and buses.
People in the community knew that the federal government and those guidelines were out there, and it was a real disincentive for some folks, and that combined with a very good marketing campaign let people who were considering violent crime and gun crimes know that there would be a severe cost to pay if they were arrested and convicted.
Now, Police Chief Durham says they'll be making another announcement on these strategies by early February. We'll keep you posted. For now, on your side in Richmond, Britni McDonald, NBC 12.